We are today a grassroots movement with people from across Europe, every level of society, who have a concern of what is happening in Europe with the Jewish people. We want to be a European, genuinely European movement that also wants to bring something positive out of Europe to other nations. We have this duty because we have failed so miserably. More than any other continent, we have failed. Therefore, we have a responsibility to go out and warn other nations. In Evian, in France, in 1938, there was still a chance for the nations to stop Hitler. So when the conference was over, it was clear that no nation would receive the Jewish refugees, no nation would stand up against Hitler. When we look at this in retrospect, we have to ask ourselves, where was the Christian voice at that time? Of course, we were not born in 1938, but we have to look at our pivotal moments. And I can think of one in particular where I felt on a personal level the privilege of standing by the side of the Jewish people. And this was in the chamber of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. There was this resolution for Palestinian statehood, which meant that complete disrespect for Jewish sovereignty. And when the Israeli ambassador, our friend Ambassador Prosa, had spoken, it was complete quiet in the chamber. That was a moment where I always can look back, and it was just a split second where I decided, no, we're not going to sit quiet here, we're going to clap. So I just took that first simple clap, and in a few seconds the whole auditorium were clapping. And they realized, I think at that moment, we are not alone any longer. There are those who are standing by our side. And by being there with a few of my colleagues, I could be that one little Christian guy representing still hundreds of millions of Christians throughout the world who wants to stand with Israel today. We should not be the people who wake up when it's too late and say, well, something is wrong now, you know, they are actually killing Jewish people. We should wake up when we can see this same type of language being used, and being used so effectively also by media and by leading political personalities. So I think this is so important today, that we are not just, you know, having a little chit-chat on a cafe or at home at the breakfast table, that we are actually where decisions are being made. We are in the TV studios, we are in the European Parliament, we are meeting one-on-one with these people who are shaping world events. The need for our work is more important now than ever. We also have, of course, the Holocaust survivors. It's so important that we can be this living example, that they can look at the world and say, well, it's not really the same as it was in the 1930s. There are those people actually who are speaking out. They may not be powerful, they may not be very many, but they exist. And I think if this would be the only testimony that we can bring to history, for me it's worth all our efforts.